Anderson lowers, and I've been pretty happy with them. I'm about to show you one that doesn't have an Anderson lower on it because I did an experiment and got a K&E Arms all in one. This is all one piece. You got the A1, I think it's an A1 length buttstock. That slash in there that's supposed to be able to take not key mod, what's the other one, accessory rails. There's also a spot for a socket. I had to buy a socket separate for quick release. I like them at that particular spot myself, so that worked for me. It's still all one piece down to the pistol grip. This is all polymer, okay, and the actual lower receiver itself. It's all one piece, all polymer from here to here. Talk a little bit more about that later, but the rest of this gun you've seen because it's the I forget the name of the 3x9 scope, real popular on Amazon, and it's topped with a side pull that's an 18-inch H-bar with, and it's stainless steel, but it's melanited, but it also has a spiral groove cut in it, you know, to lighten the whole thing and make the heat dissipation better. Standard, you know, A2 muzzle device. I don't ever see a point in getting anything other than one of those. It's got a 15-inch rail, which I don't care for rails long as a rule, but it was all a package. It all came together, and it all came from pre-COVID Bear Creek Arsenal, and it shoots good. I've had it at the range before, not with this arrangement back here. There's only minor differences between utilizing one of these, which is a lightweight option in the long run, and your more traditional three-piece layouts where you got the lower receiver, then you got the grip, and then you got the tube and all that other stuff. You do have to, if you get one of these, you do have to buy the spring and the buffer separately, but it's, even though it looks like a rifle length kind of situation, it's a carbine length tube cut in this. It's really fascinating to listen to the guys from the company discuss the R&D on this thing, because they've been around before. It's a pretty new product. All in all, but the U.S. government was experimenting with all-in-one plastic arrangements like this all the way back the early days of its adoption of the AR platform. So, kind of interesting stuff. Just to show you the flip side where the controls are on that K&E Arms. Let's see if I can get that logo to come in. All the controls are pretty normal compared to any other AR. But there's a couple of special features when it comes to installing things. It comes with the selector switch because the detent for it is loaded different, because you can't take the grip off, right? So the detent for that's got to be put in a different way than most. Let's see what else. The takedown pins, excuse me, ooh, are loaded in the opposite way from what you would normally expect, and they're not captured pins. They got a little ball bearing in them that keep them from popping out on you, but they have to be taken all the way out before you can assemble the rifle. Also, they had to boss up this area here where the hammer pin goes, so you can use regular hammer pins and the pin for the trigger, but this one's going to come out short, about 1/4 of an inch. So you can go to the company and either get a longer regular kind of pin for $9.95 that's long enough to fit flush on either side of the lower receiver, or for $19.95 you can get a specialized set of pins with the anti-back out screws in them, and that's the route that I took. I like having those on my guns anyway. It's kind of, you know, you got to keep worrying about your pins working out, then you know, that's just something else that's going to distract you from your marksmanship shooting days. That soccer socket is you can install one facing either way. You can also string a sling through there, or you can put on a piece of rail so that you can attach a sling that way. The butt pad's rubber, so that's kind of a nice feature. They do have a trapdoor butt pad that you can get from the company manufacturing, K&E, and it's really kind of cheap. I think it's only $17.95, and when I set off for the springs, they didn't charge me any shipping either, so good K&E. This stuff is really substantial. Look at that mag well is really flared compared to almost any other lower receiver you come across on the market, unless they're the billet ones that are manufactured by K&E in Phoenix, Arizona. I like this arrangement. It saves me a few ounces, because and it's kind of important, I guess, because between the big optic and the heavy duty barrel and the extra 2 inches of length, not to mention this piece of crud that they use for the rail here, the handguard, pretty heavy. It's a lot heavier than my other ARs. So I gotta show you the 22 next. The KE Arms bundle is it's pretty unique out in the market. I wanted to let you know where you could get it if you wanted to take a look at one and what they cost. The place to get them is through Brownells. When I got mine just a couple of weeks ago, stripped lower cost $109. I just checked today, they're down to $99. And a populated one was $199 when I was looking at them earlier. Now they're down to $179. So that's kind of optimistic. I hope they're catching on, because it seems to me with just nominal functionality checking that it's going to work out pretty cool. So I want to try it on different uppers too, not just the heavy one that I have there, but maybe the carbine and even my 22 that I just built. So I'm excited about getting that. When I got it, I populated it with an Anderson Arms lower receiver kit. I tend to use those a lot, number one, because I like Anderson Arms. It's a Kentucky company. I tend to find their products to be as high quality as anything else out there at about 2/3 of the price. And also the lower receiver group kit kits that you get from Anderson come with a stainless steel hammer and trigger, and they tend to, when you grind them down on a stone for a couple of hours, and and do just a nominal trigger job on them, you tend to get them down under 6 pounds, sometimes down to around 5 pounds on the trigger pull. So I tend to stick with what works for me, and what works for me, generally speaking, is Anderson. Yay, Anderson. Plus they give me a discount.